Hi there! In this video we'll be covering how to stay motivated when writing a book. If you don't dig deep and find a reason to keep going with your book, it'll be far too easy to put it aside. By the end of this video you will learn how to tap into your purpose, how to settle on a book topic, and why your book goals are so important. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. So you want to write a book. That's awesome. It is such an awesome, empowering process to write a book. But it's challenging too. It's really difficult. It's really hard. And if you don't take the right steps and take the right precautions ahead of time, it's going to be easier and easier to put it aside as you face these obstacles and challenges. The first step is to tap into your purpose, your why. Why is it that you want to write this book? What is driving you? What is fueling you? What inside of you is just bringing this book out, is bringing this book to the forefront? What is telling you inside that this book needs to be written? You know, it could be something as simple as running into somebody who says you should write a book, and then having this in your mind. Just recognizing that your story is powerful and recognizing that your story matters, that it can resonate to somebody else is such an empowering thing. But if you don't tap into this purpose, if you don't tap into your reasons for wanting to write the book, as you continue forward, it's going to be easier and easier to put it down as you face those obstacles and doubts and fears, all the stuff that's going to surface during the writing process. The writing process is like a mirror. You're going to look at it and it's going to reflect something back at you. You know, it can be a happy, fun reflection, or it can be a difficult reflection. It can be a real challenge to look at all of the struggles, all of the letdowns, the frustrations, all the things that you wish you would have done differently. You know, all those things are going to surface in some way as you're writing the book or in the aftermath of writing the book. And you can push off these things as long as you want, but they're going to keep coming up. They're going to keep coming back. So you really need to address those things. So by understanding your purpose and understanding why you're writing this book, as those things bubble up, as those challenges emerge, as those obstacles keep coming into focus, you're going to be able to push through them because you're going to have this motivation to keep going. Because you know at the end of this, through all of these challenges and obstacles, there's greatness ahead of you. It's really about figuring out what it takes to keep you going, what it takes to keep you motivated, what it takes to keep you striving forward. Because all those obstacles, they're going to pile up. If you don't address them, if you don't face them, if you don't have a purpose lined up, you're gonna trip up. You're gonna get stuck. One part of motivation is that inner striving, that inner journey. The next part is what you want to accomplish. What goals do you have from the book's publication? If you could map out anything in your life, if you could map out any dream scenario, what would happen when this book is published? Would it lead to new opportunities for your business? Would it help you separate yourself as a rock star CEO? Would it help you get better speaking engagements? Figuring out what that next step looks like, figuring out what your dreams look like, will allow you to map out the journey from the book to those dreams. You know, figuring out the steps to take from writing the book to seeing these dreams come alive. By mapping out your dreams and figuring out what you want to accomplish, you can then figure out how the book can help position you to get to that next step. You know, if you want to become the leading CEO in your space, you know, you want to write a book that's about your space. You know, so ultimately, understanding what your dreams look like can help you figure out what you want to write about. And that's the next step, is really figuring out what you want to write about. You know, you want to have a clear purpose, you want to have a clear focus in mind when you actually start the writing process. Because if you don't understand what you're writing about and you're just aimlessly going along, you're liable to waste a lot of time and effort and energy. So you want to figure out the scope of the project. You want to figure out what you want to write about. By figuring out your purpose and unlocking the goals that you want to achieve from the book, you can then work backward and figure out what you want to write. Or you can just dig deep within yourself and figure out, what is the message that I have to share? What is the story that's brewing inside of me? What do I want to say? What do I want to say to the world? Being able to tap into that, to understand that, to unlock that, it's such an empowering thing. A big part of motivation is getting wins, seeing progress, seeing success. A lot of times when I work with authors, they've encountered this burst of energy and they've made a lot of progress. And as time goes on, life gets in the way. They give up. They put the book aside. And this is really such a struggle for authors. It's such a struggle to keep going. You really need to build some consistency and build some momentum in the book writing process in order to keep going. Maybe you sign up for a writing course and you make a ton of progress during the writing course. Then the writing course ends. What happens next? Build on the momentum that you've built. Build on the success. Build onto everything that you're doing. But a big part of that process is really figuring out how you can get work done, how you can get writing done. If you are somebody who works well in front of a keyboard, then type away. If you're someone who writes through talking, who is very vivid in their storytelling, then you should record yourself talking through the story and then upload that audio to a site like Otter or Rev for automatic transcription and use that automatically transcribed text to build out the chapters. It's really about understanding who you are, understanding how you're going to get work done, and then cutting out distractions and making progress. Some of the best tips that I have about the writing process itself is cutting out distractions like digital distractions. Our phone is such a threat to focus. Focus is necessary when writing a book. I don't care if it's 10 minutes or 10 hours or 10 months. It requires deep, deep focus. And our phones buzzing and sending push notifications are distracting us from that focus. So one thing that you can do in order to make more progress is to cut down on digital distractions. Put your phone on do not disturb mode or airplane mode. Only allow certain messages through. Cut out some of the alerts, or spend an hour or two a week where you're just focused on the book. Whatever the case may be, find what it is that allows you to get work done and keep doing that. Build on it. A good book isn't written in a day. A good book is written over weeks and months and even years sometimes. So it's a matter of consistency. It's about making gradual progress. You're not going to write a great book right now, but it's about spending the time today, spending the time tomorrow, spending the time next week and the week after that and the week after that. And if you can keep building and striving on top of that, you're going to find success. And by making those little pieces of success, by having those little wins, it's going to motivate you even more. It's going to drive you. It's going to excite you to say, I did this. I can keep going. A book is not about the whole thing. It's about one word at a time, one sentence at a time, one paragraph at a time. Think about it in that way. What can you write right now? What can you write today? A lot of times I focus on writing sprints. When I'm trying to get work done quickly, I will take 10 minutes or 20 minutes and I will just free write. I will write whatever comes to mind on whatever topic I want to write about, and that's it. And then I'll walk away and I'll come back some other time and edit it and clean it up. You don't need to worry about cleaning it up in the moment. This is about getting the ideas out of your head and onto the page. And it's not going to be perfect. I think so many authors get stuck on the idea that their draft needs to be perfect. No draft is perfect. That's why there are editors. That's why there are people who will read it later and make changes and updates and corrections and suggestions, and you can go through and make it even better. This is about getting it done. This is about doing the work. Your book will be as strong as it can be, but that first draft is not going to be perfect. As my friend Chad often says, that first draft is a dirty draft. It's not perfect. You got to clean it up. You got to refine it. You got to work at it. Perfectionism is a challenge when you're book writing because there's no book that's perfect. Every single book that's ever been written is not perfect. There's no perfect book. Every single book that I've worked on, I can go back today and say, oh, I wish I had done this differently. I wish I had done that differently. Yeah, every book I've worked on, there's little somethings that pop up. Oh, I wish I had done this differently or that differently. Or on page 142, I misidentified somebody. There's things that happen over the course of 30, 50, 100,000 words that are just going to happen. Nothing is perfect. There's no book that's perfect. Even your perfect book is not perfect, and it's okay. It's about getting it done. If you don't have the book done, if you don't have the draft finished, there's no book. Perfect is the enemy of good. And you can write a great book, and you can keep working at it. But don't worry about being perfect. At least in the draft phase, there's editing to clean it up. There's editing that can punch it up and make it better. But don't let perfectionism get in the way. Again, focus on purpose, focus on your goals, and focus on getting this draft and building it out. Here's the beauty of it. You don't need to do this alone. If you need help, there's help out there. You can work with book ghostwriters and you can work with writing coaches to help bring the story forward and unlock the power of your story. So many times when I talk to authors, I'm a book ghostwriter. I've been doing this for 6 years now. I've helped more than 30 authors to finish their drafts. And there's so many times when I'll work with someone, I'll start talking to them, and they'll tell me about all the years spent and the walls they hit and how they got stuck and discouraged. And they wanted to give up and they didn't. And it's so awesome when I can help them bring this story forward, bring this book to completion, to get the book published, to get this weight off their back and help them move forward in purpose and clarity. It's just an awesome feeling. So when you're stuck, when you're at this moment where, you just don't feel like you can do it yourself and you don't know what to do anymore, there's help out there that can really help you bring out the best version of your story. So don't give up and keep an open mind, because there might be other ways to finish this book that you haven't even considered. If you want to learn more about how to stay motivated when writing a book, I would love to talk. I have so many tips to share. I have so much insight and guidance that I would love to provide to you. Just head to my website, goodghostwriter.com. You can click the link below. We can talk one-on-one and discuss any challenges you have, and I can provide any input to help you on your way. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.